Welcome back to Pinhead Productions, and I know y'all are jealous because you want one of these here slanted lamps I got behind me, which I put there to give me a sort of a parallel to my head and bring a little more normalcy to my production. So maybe one of these days, if you talk to me real nice, I'll let you know where I got that slant on the lamp there. It's kind of detracts from the angular features I got going here because it brings a little more into what the normal conditions are. So anyway, I've been getting calls saying, when you gonna show us something else, Pinhead? Well, here's what I got for you. People are always asking me, because I've been doing this now 15, 20 years, designing custom forms for people to use in their jobs. They use them in their jobs, they use them in their personal business, life, whatever. And it really ain't all that difficult, but you do got to know your way around Microsoft Excel a little bit, and there's other programs, but I just, once you buy Microsoft Office, what else do you really need? That stuff does about everything. But reckon I'll show you right here how to create a basic form using Microsoft Excel. So let's get right into it. First, once you open up the program, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be talking about. First, you're going to deal with a little bit font, size, style, bold, and then you're going to look at borders for giving you the grid effect and some bold lines around these cells. And what else? Page setup, margins, preview. These are some of the basic things you need to know if you're going to design yourself a halfway decent form. Now, as you know, forms are used for dang near everything we do. People's always writing out a form. I remember back in the 90s they were talking about we going paperless and everything's going to be on the computer and this, that, and the other, and I still see plenty of dad blame paper getting shuffled around from place to place, and people still writing with normal pens and pencils. Fancy as they might get, there's still a dadgum pen and pencil writing on a piece of paper. We ain't got any closer to paperless as we ever been, but I don't want to get started on all that. I just want to help y'all know how to design a decent form that you can use to make your life a little better. So that being said, let's go on and get into this here with Excel. Now, when you open up Excel, it just looks like a big vast grid. Doesn't mean much. We'll just start in cell A1 and let's put the title of your form right there. Now, let's say you want to keep track of how many times you kicked a dog in a year. And not only do you want to keep track, you want to make sure you don't miss a day or an opportunity to do so. So we're going to call this dog kicking worksheet. Type that in right there and skip a row, and let's go down. The first column is going to be the date. So we'll call that date. Move over to column B, we're going to call that time, because there might be dates where we want to kick the dog several times. We want to make sure we don't put it on the next date. We want to keep track of the time that we did that too, because the dog's got it coming AM and PM, if you ask me. I mean, at least. So date and time. Now in column C, we want what do we put in column C? Reason why we kicked a dog that particular time. And in column 4, we're going to put a number from 1 to 5, which is going to be the volume of the yelp that we got out of that dog. Now bear with me here because I almost left out a couple of relatively important columns in our form, and my son was so kind to remind me. But this is important: shoe type, barefoot, tennis shoes, slippers, steel-toed boots, moccasins, sandals, flip-flops. You know, this kind of factors into the equation here. In addition to that, we also have stairs. Were stairs involved? That reminds me of a story, but I'll leave that for another time. And he thought it was important to make a note of whether or not, or the number of witnesses. You might jot their name down too. Maybe we'll have a notes column here. I think we're up to 7 or 8 columns here, and I think that's a good start as an example to use for our form design. So where were we? We left off on 4. All right, we got 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 is shoe type. 6 is if stairs are involved. 7 is witnesses. And 8, notes. We'll just call it notes. I done lost my train of thought. I hate when that happens in the middle of a dad blame tutorial, but you know, let's be real, it happens. Okay. So how many days or opportunity, I shouldn't say opportunity, PETA's going to be knocking down my door here pretty soon, but let's just say how many chances might there be in a month for this to occur. And so I say you want to go at least 60. So we want 60 rows under the header, your titles, and then we got our 8 columns. So let's go ahead and set it up like this. And as we're doing that, what I want to show you is this borders drop down here that gives you all these other really cool borders that you can just put around the cells that you're working with. And there's different styles. There's a double underline, there's a box the whole thing in like a grid, there's a bold, and we'll do that in a second here. Once we get the whole page set up, we'll do a bold line around the whole outer grid, and then we'll do a bold around the titles. And you know, there's some things like that. How you line it up, center it on the page. Is this going to go on a clipboard? Because if it goes on a clipboard, you want to be mindful of that ahead of time when you're designing the form to allow a little bit more margin over there for the clip on the clipboard. Because nobody likes it when you got to take the paper out of the clip and slide it over so you can write in the first column. It's just annoying. So you want to plan for this and allow enough of a margin on the side of that page for that clip on that clipboard to sit there and not impede the use of the form. You might not have expected me to use a word like impede, but it just came out, and let's continue. So once we get all this set up, and you're seeing what I'm doing here with the mouse clicks and where I'm going, and let me tell you something about this QAT, they call it. It's QAT, a quick access toolbar. This thing here, you can customize it to put the things that you use the most in there, and I highly recommend this. This has saved me a ton of time because I'm always using print, range, print, preview, print, and many other things that you want to just be able to go right up there and get it without searching through all this ribbon and all the drop downs and all these things. The things you use the most, you want to have right at your fingertips, and that's what this quat is for. But perhaps I'll make a entirely different tutorial just for the quat alone. Who knows what opportunities are around the corner for us all. So, back to our form. Let's look at the print preview and see what we got. See if we got any issues, and we'll fix it up here. Looks like, if we're going off the side of the page here, there's a shortcut you can do to make it fit on one page, but maybe you need to put some thought into maybe it shouldn't be going portrait, it should be going landscape this way, and things like that. I don't like to mess around of making it fit on the page. I like to make the form so that it's 100% size and fix it with column widths and different things like that. But that is an option. You can force it to fit on one page tall by one page wide, or whatever your situation is. So all this is just to show you how to design a basic form, and I hope I have been helpful to you and given you some good ideas and giving you a basic understanding of how you can use Microsoft Excel to create a form that you can use to write on, to report different things, whatever your situation is. I used, kicking the dog. That's just what's going on in my world. But you might have other things that you might want to design a form for. So don't get too hung up on the example and all, I can't believe he did that. Take yourself and make yourself objective and neutral, and consider the information that's being presented, not the subject matter. I just used the first thing that popped into my triangular head. Now, again, you can use this for any number of things. All right? Can't even begin to list them all. But I've been asked to make forms for people for the last 20 years. 15 to 20 years at least. Probably made 1,000 different forms over that time span. And reckon it's about time people can just, watch I don't know how long this is going to be, 10, 15 minute tutorial, and figure it out for yourself. You don't need to involve somebody else in your form design. Just go on after it. Everybody's got Microsoft Excel these days. Get you a couple little skills to go along with it, and go on and make it. Send it to the printer. Get it out there. Use it. Thank you for giving me the time, and I hope nobody told me my shirt was messed up. What the heck's going on here? I hope that what I taught you was useful to you for your future. You might even get a raise out of it. Who knows? In any case, thank you for tuning in to Pinhead Productions, and stay tuned for some upcoming tutorials that will just be amazing, I promise you. Take care.